One fateful day in 2014, 12-year-old Core sent a Facebook message to the official Need for Speed page suggesting improvements, spurred on by the excellent news that the game would be getting an additional year of development time. This led to something rather special, which you will find out about when this video drops on November 3rd. Anyway, Need for Speed has a special place both in my heart and in a lot of people's hearts too. Since the days of the reboot and the many turbulences and changes Need for Speed has gone through, I have somewhat moved on from racing games, which was also reflected in this channel's shift to focus predominantly on cars. However, I still care about Need for Speed deeply. It's the only video game franchise that I actively follow and keep up with whenever a new game is supposed to release. And despite it being a lot calmer than it was when I was a teenager, every new announcement drums up excitement and impatience in me. With all that, you can imagine my reaction when I found out that Electronic Arts is changing Criterion Games' priorities to focus on Battlefield for the second time. I have read the official statement from Vince Zampella, and it caused me to officially declare all loss of hope for the future of Need for Speed. According to the statement, the majority of Criterion will be focusing on assisting the development of a quote-unquote new era of Battlefield. Like we haven't heard that 10,000 fucking times. Meanwhile, a small core team within Criterion, again also in quotes, will focus on deciding what's next for Need for Speed. I don't need to tell you what happened the last 3 times a small team worked on a Need for Speed game. You may call this ignorance, but this statement to me reads, EA is making Criterion focus on the franchise that brings in more money, because Need for Speed is not very lucrative, and even though EA made the Unbound dev cycle a living hell by doing this exact same thing, they're refusing to let Criterion dedicate themselves to a single franchise that really needs all the help it can get. This is all complete and utter bullshit. I really didn't want it to come to this, and I can't believe that it actually did. While I have lost all hope, I haven't stopped caring, and I don't think that you have either. So we're not gonna talk about how much we care and make small talk in the comment section on videos and on Reddit. We're gonna do it. We're gonna show them how much we care. Remember, we did it once already. If you're new to the Need for Speed community, Craig It Up was an uprising started in 2013 by one of the major figures in the racing game community, Black Panther. Getting its name from then creative director at Ghost Games and Criterion, Craig Sullivan, Craig It Up was a targeted playlist of videos that showed off the state of the most recent Need for Speed games up to that point. Hot Pursuit 2010, The Run, Most Wanted 2012, and of course, Rivals. This playlist at the time of press features 31 videos from various different people showcasing bugs, glitches, and what appeared to be a lack of care from the development team about these games. To this day, this remains one of the most memorable times in the Need for Speed community, not least because it was surprisingly effective. The word was heard, and Ghost Games was given an additional year of dev time to work on the next game, which ultimately led to Need for Speed 2015. Enter We Want NFS. We Want NFS is very similar, but we won't be focusing on bugs and glitches here. We can only talk about bugs and glitches for so long. It's time we took a different approach. I am urging every single racing game and video game content creator that enjoys racing games here on YouTube to put together videos explaining what they miss most of all in Need for Speed, and fundamental changes they'd like to see from the franchise going forward. Tag those videos with hashtag WeWantNFS and notify me on Twitter or on Discord. Just like Craig It Up, we'll add them to a playlist and we'll send them every chance we get. We Want NFS will also put a spotlight on the highly underappreciated Need for Speed modding community. This is something I used to do a couple of years ago, and it's time I brought it back for a good cause, and I want all of you to join me in that as well. The Black Box era modding community has some pretty great stuff, and we can use that to showcase what Need for Speed could be when it involves a team of people that really care. Finally, guest stars from other racing games that do core gameplay, mechanics, or other aspects well that you wish were implemented in Need for Speed could also be added to this playlist. It's time to show Electronic Arts, Criterion Games, Codemasters Cheshire, and whoever else is involved that even though they're giving off the impression that they don't care, we still do, just like how Judy cares for V. We've all been exhausted with jank and subpar aspects for too long. Now it's time to really show them how much we care about this 30-year-old pioneer of the genre and one of the most decorated names in video game history. This is both the Need for Speed community and the racing game community's uprising. This is We Want NFS.